Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new Hangout right here on Night Owl Video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Uh, it is another blessed, beautiful Sunday. I have the window open behind me because it's like 0 degrees, but I'm just, changing the air in the house and that, and it's lovely. Got out for a walk in the park yesterday, which was really nice. And, I hope spring's going to be here soon. There's a local market where I live that does a countdown on their roadside billboard. And it says like 6 weeks of spring, 5 weeks of spring, 4 weeks of spring. So we just got I believe it will change to 5 weeks to spring this week, which will be awesome. So today might be a little shorter. I did not, I picked up 5 Blu-rays and a CD, and it's basically all I watched and listened to this week. So I'm going to show you what I picked up and what I watched and all that stuff. We'll do a little rundown on those. I've got the new releases coming out this Tuesday, February 17th. I hope everybody had a nice Valentine's Day. I don't really know what people do. I guess people that are in relationships do things and go for dinner and have flowers and all that. I do not. Although I like to watch all the men running around in the grocery store frantically buying things on the eve of Valentine's Day, which I did experience again this year. But yeah, it's been a weird week, I guess. We had a couple of storm days last week, Wednesday and Thursday, which then ran into my Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend. And then tomorrow, Monday, is the Heritage Day holiday here in Canada. So I've had like 6 days off. I worked on some music, went for a walk yesterday. I'm hoping to go for another walk today. And yeah, just try to change up some habits for the spring. Booked my bike repair, my bike tune-up appointment for the end of March, which was exciting. And I'm thinking about going to St. John to visit my family in a couple weeks, so that'll be nice. I'll get to not only see my family, but do some thrifting maybe in some of the stores there. I just realized I didn't do anything. I didn't do an intro or anything. I just jumped right into it. If you're new here, this is the Hangout. Every week, I don't encourage you, but if you feel so inclined, you can have a warm beverage, a cold beverage, no beverage at all. You can do needle pointing, drawing, cleaning your dishes, whatever you want to do. Just hang out, put me in the background, hang out with me for a bit. And with that, let's have a sip of coffee. And what else should I say? So yeah, normally the routine here is I talk about what I listened to, what I watched, upcoming new releases on physical media, and anything in between. I was really tempted to go see that Sam Raimi movie, Send Help. But I heard some kind of mixed reviews from people that I trust. So I think I'm going to wait for streaming. I know that sucks, but I don't have a lot of money, so I got to be mindful. Even Scream 7 is coming out in 2 weeks, or like a week from this coming Friday, I think. Yeah, the 27th, I think. So it's like, I don't know. Am I gonna go to that? I don't know. Nev Campbell does return to the franchise, which is cool. I'm going to see The Offspring in about a week and a half with opening act Bad Religion. So my sister got tickets and invited me to go, so I'm gonna go do that. I can't say I'm a big fan of either of those bands. This is gonna sound blasphemous to my punk rock friends, but I really don't know Bad Religion. I remember like in the early 90s, they had like a really big album, and I did hear some of it, and it had great harmonized vocals, these big anthematic choruses. And I do remember thinking, yeah, this is quite good, and then Offspring, really the only album I know is Smash, and I know that's not their big Smash album. So I'm hoping they'll play a couple songs off that album. But I know it'll probably be more of the new, like the Pretty Fly for a White Guy and all that stuff. We'll see. I imagine it'll be a sea of gray-haired punk rockers I have a few grays, but I'm not fully gray, so we'll see. And I don't know if I mentioned a couple weeks ago, but Napalm Death is coming to my area. For those of you who don't live in the Atlantic provinces of Canada, we're kind of starving for, like, well, I don't want to say good bands, but we're starving for interesting music. We get a lot of the sort of, we get the Foreigner and the Billy Idol and the Offspring, but as far as those like more underground bands, Napalm Death is coming here with Primitive Man, which is a really cool, really slow, kind of like scary rock group. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's in May. What's new with you? Mm-hmm. Really good for you. So this past Monday, I went to Taz Records in Halifax, Nova Scotia, one of my favorite spots to go. And I traded in a great big bag of movies, and I came away with 5 Blu-rays and a CD. Now, the asterisk there is that, like, most of the stuff I buy is like boutique stuff because I can't find it where I live. We don't really have a store that sells the boutique label stuff, so when I trade in a big pile of stuff, as I'm thinning out my collection, the ones I buy are really quite expensive, so we'll get to that in a minute. But let's talk about music first. The first thing I grabbed at Taz Records is Thurston Moore Flow Critical Lucidity from the Daydream Library series record label. There's the back. The artwork is it's a piece called Samurai Walkman by Jamie Nares. And as you can see over the top, it's got little, it's like tuning forks. That may be some kind of code to unlock as far as tuning your guitar. Here's the inside. So yeah, I think I've mentioned on the channel before, but when I was younger, I was a huge Sonic Youth fan, and I put all personal politics aside when it comes to Thurston Moore and Kim Gordon. I know some of you out there are probably going to be like, really? But I like Thurston Moore's music. This is like the Thurston Moore group, so it's got, I think, Debbie Goog from Goog or Googie from, it doesn't say. Maybe it's on the inside. Yeah, Debbie Googe. She plays bass on this album. She used to play bass in My Bloody Valentine. James Seawards on percussion. Jem Dalton electronics. John Lydecker backing vocals. Letitia Sager lyrics on a song or two. And this is from the year 2023 and 2024. It says, all are born free and equal in rights. So yeah, this is Thurston Moore Group, I guess. It just says Thurston Moore, but it's Thurston Moore Group, basically. And I've been kind of off and on with Thurston Moore and his solo stuff, but I had heard this album online, and I found it at Taz Records, so I decided to pick it up. And it's quite good. Quite good. It's got some, there's a song on here called We Get High, which really put me in mind of, what's that last song on the first Stooges album? We Will Fall, I think it's called. Had that same vibe. Really cool. But yeah, as a guitarist, I find Thurston Moore really interesting. His playing, his tuning, and all that jazz. So check it out if you like that stuff. It's not as atonal as like early Sonic Youth, but it does go off onto some jammy bits, and it's good. And then I didn't buy this week, but I've had this sitting in a stack of things to listen to. I literally just opened it. It's Dark Throne, and this is an album called Hate Them, which was put out on Peaceville Records in 2003. Yeah, I bought this months ago, and I just never got around to putting it on. And this week I felt like listening to it, so I ripped it open, and it was very satisfying. This is Nocturno Culto on guitar, bass, and vocals, and Fenriz on the drums. The reason being is I was doing a lot of jamming here in the apartment on my guitar, and it got me thinking about the Nocturno person made a movie called the Misanthrope, which you can watch for free on YouTube. Though if you can find the physical copy, I guess it would be better to do that. But that I find that movie really inspiring to me. I do a lot of like kind of quiet guitar stuff with delay pedals and that. And his movie is a lot of that. I mean, it's got actually the first song on here, Rust, is on the soundtrack to the Misanthrope film. But yeah, it's got these really cool passages where it's like really eerie, kind of like, I wouldn't say finger picking, but really slow playing guitar, a lot of reverb, and the scenes are like a lot of walking through the woods or riding a bike through the woods or filming just weird landscapes and things like that. And that's really inspiring to me, and it made me want to check this out, so I did, and it's great. I will say the thing about Dark Throne, I find, like, I don't listen to a lot of black metal, but I do find Dark Throne very, very angry sounding. The vocals are very, very vicious sounding, and I like that. A lot of black metal, I guess the vocals are so buried in that really crappy mix of reverb and crappy amplifiers and bad microphones. And when you listen to Dark Throne, it's like you can actually hear like the real aggression comes through. It's just really nasty sounding, and I really dig it. So when I was at Taz Records, I did see a couple of the Dark Throne albums that I had previously owned on vinyl that I got rid of. So I'm probably thinking I should rebuy those on CD. But for now, I had picked this one up a couple months ago. Really like it. And then Taz Records is very well known for boutique Blu-rays. So I grabbed, I guess, 4 Blu-rays and a 4K Blu-ray combo. So the first thing I got, and by the way, I've watched all these movies this past week because I had lots of free time on my hands. So the first one up is from Synapse Films. This is a movie I've heard about for a really long time and never seen it. And I knew it was like a really gross movie. I was really hoping it was going to be a lot grosser. Unfortunately for me, and somebody named Tommy Vance said, Eraserhead meets Night of the Living Dead on the set of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's a bunch of horse shit. The movie is straight trash. I don't know. This is the special Meltdown edition put out by Synapse. This film is from 1987. This Blu-ray is from 2013. I'll show you the pictures on the back. You can see I was expecting this to be like that, like for an hour and a half. Sadly, what I got was about 3 minutes of that, then about an hour and 20 minutes of like homeless people running around. There was some Vietnam flashback type motif. There was some gangsters. There was some very cheap liquor, which is what caused this melting thing to happen. And then the last probably 15 minutes or so of the movie was the payoff, I guess. But I to be honest, I was so checked out. I was looking at my phone about halfway through, and it was kind of cheesed me off because so many horror fans, like real, and I'm not like, I like horror movies, but I'm not one of those like hardcore people. But everyone went on about this movie. It was so crazy and severe and disgusting and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I thought it was really, really dumb. So I'll be trying to resell this. I might try to resell this on my own because I'm hoping maybe I can get some of my money back. This was a $29.99 Blu-ray, so really disappointed. As you guys, some of you know, I'm really not into like ultra B movies, but for some reason this one, I don't know, it for some reason it appealed to me and I wanted to see it. And like I looked at the back and I read that tagline and I thought, yeah, Eraserhead meets Night of the Living Dead on the set of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought this is going to be off the rails like crazy, and sadly it just did not deliver. Sorry to Jim Monroe and all the people involved with this movie, but I just, not for me. This did have that guy in it. Is it Tony Darrow? Right away I recognize this guy in the movie, and I don't know if there's pictures of him. No, I don't think so, but there's a guy in here, and he's a really good actor. And this movie is really not good. But his acting in the movie was like, you know, when you have one of those episodes where you think to yourself, this guy's way beyond this level of film. Like, and the guy is the guy in Goodfellas who runs the restaurant. For any of you guys who have seen Goodfellas, he's the guy that runs the restaurant in Goodfellas, and he goes to meet with Paul Sorvino because Joe Pesci owes him a bunch of money at the restaurant, and he's like, he tells, did I say Joe Pesci? No, I meant, oh God, Paul Sorvino. Yeah, he goes to Paul Sorvino. He's like, you know, your friend here owes me a bunch of money, and like he's stressing me out, and I need you to fix it. And the guy's like, and he's like, just come in on me with the restaurant. And Paul Sorvino's like, what do you want me to do? I don't know anything about the restaurant business. What do you want me to do? And it's that guy is in this movie, and I looked it up. It was his first acting credit, and I thought to myself, this movie's so below that guy, and I think it's Tony Darrow. Maybe I could look it up. But I just thought, yeah, he was so out of place in that movie. it was yeah, anyway. No offense to the people who love Street Trash. I know there's people out there who love that movie, but clearly not for me. Let's see if it's, yeah, it's Tony Darrow. Here, I'll see if I can show you a picture of him. You'll recognize him. Yeah. You guys can, hopefully you can see the picture. It's that guy. He's like, you know, your friend owes me a lot of fucking money. And then Paul Sorvino's like, what do you want me to do? I don't know anything about the restaurant business. Which is a line I quote to myself a lot. I don't know. Must be my spectral defunction. Anyway, moving on, but Street Trash, no, not for me. Cool edition. I'll show you on the inside. It has a picture on the inside cover. And like some of the effects, I guess, like there were some of the effects that were in there were pretty cool, but like they didn't last long enough for me to be interested in it. Yeah, again, I was hoping it was going to be like really, really gnarly, but the gnarly parts in it were gnarly, but not long enough. It came with a sticker, which is the Viper is the name of the alcohol that they drink that makes them melt. And then it has a Synapse Films 2025 catalog. And, you know, I looked at the inside and I thought, you know, most of these movies I would probably not be for me. I used to have like Demons and Demons 2 and Tenebrae, Suspiria, these kind of ones. And then they also sell like adult films as well, so. But yeah, moving on. We'll try to sell this to somebody who loves Street Trash. If you're like a strict, like I only collect like weird cult movies and really like messed up movies, maybe. But the next movie I got, so bear in mind all these were brand new when I got them, so they're all kind of expensive. I decided to pull the trigger on this one, which is the Drag Me to Hell Blu-ray from Scream Factory from 2018. This movie from, I think, 2009. This is a Sam Raimi movie. Coming back around to Sam Raimi. This is Greg Nicotero and Howard Berger on special effects, starring Justin Long, Alison Lohman, featured on the cover. Yeah, I have this on DVD, but I've had the DVD for years and years and years, and I finally was like, you know what? I wanted to rewatch it, and I thought, I'm going to rewatch it in high def, so I decided to grab this. The Blu-ray does look really, really good. It's a new HD master from the theatrical cut, taken from the 2K digital intermediate, and this has the theatrical as well as the unrated. I watched the unrated hoping maybe I would see some other stuff in it, but I didn't really know what the extra stuff was. This has a reversible cover, which is newly commissioned artwork. I decided to put, this is the theatrical poster. I decided to put that on the outside. I kind of prefer that. I almost dropped my movies. I love Drag Me to Hell, the film. I think it's really, really fun. It is like, this girl, Alison Lohman, this young woman who works at a bank, and she turns down an extension on credit for an old lady who's kind of like I don't know if it's politically incorrect to say like a gypsy, but kind of like, she's just on hard times, and Mrs. Ganoush. And Alison Lohman is vying for a position as a assistant manager at the bank, and she has to make these hard choices if she wants to be in the running to be the assistant manager. So she tells this old lady, "No, I'm not going to extend your credit." And then the old lady puts a curse on Alison Lohman, and it can really only go downhill from there. But yeah, this is she had it all: a devoted boyfriend, a hard-earned job promotion, and a bright future. This is I never hear anyone talk about this movie. When they talk about Sam Raimi, they'll go from Evil Dead to Spider-Man, but they won't really mention this movie a lot, and I don't know why, because if you like horror and horror comedy and those kind of movies that are like, and I'm going to get to another one in a minute, but there's something about these movies that's like, it's got humor in it, but it's like a lot of like, well, I don't want to give away too much if you haven't seen it, but there's like a wake at a house that's really, really disturbing. There's a lot of really disgusting, like just gross out things in it. There's a part in this movie that is seared into my brain because I love the way it looks. It's not necessarily pleasant, but it's a cemetery. And I don't know if I think it's a matte painting behind Alison Lohman, but there's something about that scene. If you've seen the movie, there's a scene where, she's in a graveyard, and I won't tell you what happens, but it's just got this really weird, uncanny valley kind of really weird atmosphere to it. It just freaks me out when I watch it. But yeah, it's funny. It's gross. In parts, it's pretty scary. This was, of course, for me anyway, it seemed like the perfect time in history for all of the jump scares to come out. This has a lot of jump scares in it. But yeah, if you like Sam Raimi's style, like if you're a big fan of Evil Dead 2, I would say you probably would like this. If you imagine if Evil Dead was like a possession, sort of like satanic kind of movie or whatever, it would be like, and then, instead of having a male lead, you've got Alison Lohman, who apparently retired from acting just shortly after this movie. She just retired and decided to take care of her family. So too bad, because I thought she was really good in this. Justin Long is great in here as well. But yeah, I love this movie. I watch this every couple of years. It's fun. It's gross. It's creepy. It's got, I don't know. I just love this movie. So really happy to add that to my collection. I will be getting rid of my DVD. The next one, by the way, these are all from the sort of boutique section in the store. I decided to grab Burnt Offerings. This is a movie from 1976. This is from Kino Lorber, the movie Blu-ray company. This has Dan Curtis, Karen Black, Oliver Reed, Burgess Meredith, Lee Montgomery, Betty Davis, produced and directed by Dan Curtis. This is only rated PG, so it's not really scary, but it's a haunted house movie. And, very basic on the inside. This is your basic bitch edition. I had watched this a couple years ago during the pandemic, and I really liked it. It's nothing like... There's nothing really scary in it. This would be a nice... I thought when I was watching, this would be a nice warm-up before you watch The Changeling, or this would be a nice warm-up before you watch The Shining. It's not as good as those two movies, but it's got some vibes in it that kind of get me in that kind of headspace, and I really do quite enjoy this. This was only the second or third time I watched this, but I only had it on VHS, so I decided to pull the trigger on this. This is the Blu-ray from Kino Lorber, like I mentioned. And I think this just came out a year or two ago on Blu-ray, so not crazy about the cover art, but if you like spooky movies, haunted house movies, movies with a lot of like, for me, or it might pair nice with Psycho maybe, as sort of like an appetizer before you get to that. The interior of the house is all old stuff, like velvet drapes and photographs in picture frames and mirrors, and it's got that real creepy haunted house vibe. So if you like that kind of thing, you probably would dig this. Karen Black just on her own is just kind of... I love her and I love her acting, but man, she gives me the willies so bad. Dan Curtis in the lead role. He's there on the back. He's great in this movie. The acting is great. I don't know who the little boy was in it, but he was really good too. And Betty Davis, who plays Aunt Elizabeth. Burgess Meredith, who's this kind of creepy old dude in a wheelchair. He only is in the movie for a short period of time, but yeah, really good, creepy, 1976, mid-70s. This was at the height, I would say, of like, the big studios doing the big budget horror movies. Exorcist, Jaws, Omen, Alien. Like, it's all in that 70s range. And you could even argue The Changeling, things like that. It's just that it's a big studio, big budget movie, big actors, great production value, not overly scary. Like I said, this is only rated PG, so don't go in thinking you're going to be like scared like The Changeling or The Shining. But if you like haunted house kind of movies set in the 70s, which, I feel like I could almost watch any movie from the 70s and just be into it. Sorry, I'm just peeling a sticker off the next one here. There we go. The next one I got, and this is going to be a hot take for some of you. Well, I don't know if I'm going to upset too many people, but there's a little movie called Dawn of the Dead from 1978, directed by George Romero, which is a stone cold cult horror classic. And then in 2004, Zack Snyder and James Gunn got together and they did a remake of Dawn of the Dead from 2004. This is the Scream Factory special edition from 2017. Again, a movie I had on DVD, and I had it on this 4-movie set where there was like 2 movies on each disc. So not a great quality view. So I decided to grab this Blu-ray. It looks fantastic. And when I was watching it, I was thinking, here's the hot take, guys. I might almost want to watch this more than the original. And I know that's blasphemy to horror fans. Don't get me wrong, I love Dawn of the Dead. I've got that big Anchor Bay box set, and I've watched it, and I love it. And I do watch Dawn of the Dead fairly regularly. But I have to admit, this one had more action in it. I thought the pacing was a little punchier. I wasn't, I'm not, it's hard, right? Because the original Dawn of the Dead is so old now. What is it, almost 50 years old? I know a lot of people don't like the look of the zombies in the original, and they move slow in that one. In this one, they run, and they're really, really scary. And it's a bit more of an intense scare. It's not so much that I'm trapped in a mall with a bunch of zombies and I can go around and hit them with baseball bats. This is, I'm trapped in a mall with zombies and they're chasing me through the mall, and I have to get a set of keys and try to unlock this door before they get to me, and they're missing limbs and they're terrifying. And I will say the only thing I prefer is the Dawn of the Dead is the gore. There's, the scene where the zombie bites the person's neck and pulls the flesh all. That stuff you can't top. I mean, that is just nasty looking. This has a lot of kind of goofy CGI blood stuff in it, which I'm not a big fan of. But I would say if I had the choice, I might actually watch this one over the original. But again, that's just my opinion. Don't freak out in the comments. This one came bagged. I can't remember the name of that guy on YouTube that does he has a huge Blu-ray collection, and he was quoted as saying, I just work and then I come home and bag my Blu-rays. Whoever that guy is, he's awesome. Here's the original theatrical poster. The inside, I really like the disc art. It's, well, one of them anyway. It's when they paint on the roof of the building, help alive inside. There's Sarah Polley. God bless Sarah Polley, a Canadian actress. The inside, of course, is the slipcase, but it's the reversible artwork. I kind of prefer the original theatrical poster, so I flipped mine out like that. But yeah, I rewatched this the other night. It looks fantastic in high definition. Yeah, just I don't know. Ever since I saw this movie, I really liked it. And I will say, I had seen Dawn of the Dead as a teenager, but when I saw this as a 34-year-old person, I was like, immediately, I was like, whoa. I think it was the fast-moving zombies. Let's see. This has disc 1 as the theatrical version and disc 2 as the unrated version. Again, I did watch the unrated version. I only saw a few snippets there that I could recognize as like stuff that was put back in the film. I think Zack Snyder said that he liked the unrated version better, that he came on the screen before the movie started. But yeah, it looks great. This movie still holds up, 22 years later. I know this was in the era when they were doing a lot of remakes of classic horror movies, Texas Chainsaw and all that stuff, but Halloween. But I thought that this movie was really, really good, and if you like zombie movies, I would say this is probably, for me, is one of the top ones. The zombies move really fast, which I find really terrifying. I mean, the slow-moving zombies are cool too, and like in the remake of Night of the Living Dead, I did like the slow-moving zombies, and they were really, really gross and graphic and creepy. But there was something about these ones in here. They also hired a bunch of people with like amputees to like be zombies. So there was one person who has like half of their arm and half of their legs, and they like ran around, kind of like in I wonder if it was the same person that was in Return of the Living Dead. And then there was another man who had like half of his arm missing and an amputee, and so he was one of the zombies, and he was really scary. And then they in this one they escape from the mall in a van, and I found that to be really, really scary because they drove out into crowds of zombies in the night, and you could just see zombies in the headlights, which I've always found to be really a creepy image. But yeah, awesome movie. So happy I grabbed this. I wasn't sure if I was going to grab this one or not the other day, but um, in the end I did, and I'm really happy I did because the transfer looks fantastic, and yeah, just really good acting, everything. I watched some of the special features. Um, there was an interview with what's his name? Don't know. There was a lot of like I watched the special features on the unrated version, disc number 2. I had a lot of like zombie featurettes. There was one that was really funny, mockumentary, Undead and Loving It, where they made like a fake documentary about as if the zombies in the movie, like the people who were acting in the movie, were actually zombies that were hired to be in the movie, and they acted like, yeah, no, like I'm a real zombie and I was just hired to do this movie, and it was really funny. So yeah. Oh yeah, and also another thing I didn't know was that the special effects artist David Anderson, and I believe Heather Langenkamp is his partner, and she was also involved with the special effects. So that's cool. I didn't, or maybe I knew that a long time ago and I forgot. But anyway, highly recommend. If you like that movie, that transfer is beautiful and it looks so nice in high def. And speaking of beautifully high definition remasters, I did finally manage to pick up the Criterion of Jim Jarmusch's 1995 film Dead Man, starring Johnny Depp and Gary Farmer, and a soundtrack by Neil Young. And this was the 4K that just came out a couple of weeks ago, and this was very, 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 very expensive. So that chewed up a lot of my credit that I got at the store, but it's beautiful, as Criterion does. It has the 4K as well as the Blu-ray. This is a digital restoration supervised by Jim Jarmusch. One of the greatest, I mean, I rewatched the movie. I love that movie. It's so good. If you've never seen it, if you like psychedelic westerns, weird westerns, whatever you want to call it, this is the movie for you. Black and white, glorious. They apparently wanted to do it in, the studios were pushing him to do it in color, but he didn't want to do that, and so he lost a lot of funding to produce this movie. So I think in some ways he had to go at it on his own, because the studio didn't want to back a black and white movie in 1995 with Johnny Depp. So yeah, I mean, I guess Johnny Depp was kind of up and coming by that point. This was before like Pirates of the Caribbean, but he's great in this. This also has Lance Henriksen from Alien, Michael Wincott, who was the guy in Alien 4, the guy with the really gravelly voice. This also has Crispin Glover, Iggy Pop, Billy Bob Thornton, Gabriel Byrne, John Hurt, Alfred Molina, and a special appearance by Robert Mitchum. So yeah, this movie has got an all-star cast. But mostly it's Johnny Depp and Gary Farmer, and they play the roles so well in this movie. They play off each other so well. I just love the interactions they have with each other in this movie. So yeah, this is the Criterion 2026 Blu-ray. I guess this is the first official release that I've bought this year on physical media, so that's kind of cool. I was looking for this one, and I was also looking for Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but apparently that's sold out right away. There's Gary Farmer with Johnny Depp in the boat. This, of course, comes with a beautiful booklet. There's a touching scene with Johnny Depp where he lays down beside a little deer. It's just so sweet. Yeah, this has got a couple of essays in it. But I was going to say a few minutes ago, and I forgot to finish that story, but this has footage that Jim Jarmusch shot, I guess on a VHS camera, of Neil Young practicing or recording the soundtrack for this movie. So basically, what they did was they set up a screen, played the movie, and Neil Young played along, just him and his electric guitar, and he played along with the movie, and it's fantastic. Probably, I don't know, it's definitely probably up there in my top 5 soundtracks of all time. Here's a really funny scene with Iggy Pop here and Billy Bob Thornton is here, and he's really funny in this scene. He's like, well, God damn it, why don't you shoot me then? I can't do his voice justice, but he's so funny in that scene. Here's Lance Henriksen. He was a real badass in this movie. So yeah, this is a great movie. I love it. Probably not everybody's cup of tea, a black and white psychedelic western, but definitely for me one of my favorite Johnny Depp films, and just a great atmospheric western, neo-western, if you will. And this has the 4K Blu-ray as well as the Blu-ray, and I believe the special features are divided up over it. So, but if you love this movie and you love Neil Young's music that goes with it, I would highly recommend this. It is really, really beautiful. There's a whole bunch of stuff on here that I haven't even gotten to. There's some cast members reading poems by William Blake. There's deleted scenes. There's color photos from the film's production. And then the essays in the booklet are Amy Tobin and music journalist Ben Ratliff. So yeah, shout out to Criterion for doing an amazing job and on this transfer. Yeah, there's the special features if you want to freeze it. But yeah, great. So happy to add this to my collection. And I did finally get rid of my DVD, so that's sayonara, and I will watch it in all of its glory on 4K from now on. So that's everything I kind of watched and listened to. I have been, I bought the Batman 66 box set about 3 years ago on DVD, and I watched a bunch of the episodes, but I haven't never finished that box set. So I've been watching some episodes of that in the evenings this week. I watched a bit of the Olympics, which was exciting and sometimes terrifying. And trying to think what else I watched. Oh, I tried to watch Strangers Chapter 2 on streaming, and I turned that off. If that gives you any indication, don't waste your time. I thought the first Strangers, like the newest remake, which came out last year, the year before, was okay. And I know they're doing a trilogy. I think the third one's out. But the second one, it was so dumb, I just turned it off. Don't waste your time with that one. All right, let's hop over to the laptop. And for those of you who are new here, I go on to Blu-ray.com and I look up the movies that are coming out for the upcoming week, and I share them with you. And hopefully, if there's something on there you've been wanting, you'll know that it's coming out. So first up, we have Ben-Hur coming out on 4K Steelbook from 1959. All the President's Men also coming out on 4K with Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman. Predator Badlands is coming out on Blu-ray and 4K, and I assume DVD. I didn't hear great things about that. I'm probably just going to avoid it. I wasn't a big fan of Prey, so, for me, I just go to the original Predator if I want that fix. Ben-Hur is also coming out on a plain, like an ordinary 4K Amaray case, as well as All the President's Men. I guess that must be a steelbook, is it? Yeah. So the first All the President's Men that I mentioned is a steelbook, and it's also coming out on a straight Amaray case. Song Sung Blue is coming out on 4K from last year. This is with Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson. Nothing I would be interested in. Child's Play 2 is coming out on 4K Steelbook. I don't know who's putting that out. Let me check. Shout Factory is putting that out. That's actually my favorite Child's Play, but I don't think I need that. Dead Silence is coming out on 4K Steelbook. That Dead Silence, was that a James Wan movie? Let's see here. I can't remember. I did have that DVD for a while, but I didn't think it was all that great. Yeah, James Wan, written by Lee Wanell and James Wan. Yeah, Dead Silence. It's the original artwork is the talking the what do you call it? Ventriloquist dummy with his finger like that. I watched that movie. I didn't think it was all that great, but that is coming out on 4K if that's something you enjoy. Double Impact is coming out with Jean-Claude Van Damme to 4K from 1991. Brotherhood of the Wolf is coming out on 4K from Shout Factory. What else do we have? We have a movie called The Visitor coming out on 4K from 1979 from Arrow Video. I remember this. Maybe some of you remember that artwork with the eyeball. I remember seeing that in the video store back in the day. I don't know anything about that movie, if it's good or not, but yeah, it's a horror movie from 1979. It's listed at $64.99 on Amazon, so I don't know anything about it. John Huston, Glenn Ford, Lance Henriksen, directed by Giulio Paradisi. An intergalactic warrior joins a cosmic Christ figure in battle against a demonic 8-year-old and her pet hawk while the fate of the universe hangs in the balance. Okay. That's The Visitor coming out on 4K. Five Nights at Freddy's Part 2 is coming out on 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD. Knockoff is coming out on 4K, another Van Damme vehicle from the MVD Rewind series. The Carpenter's Son with Nicolas Cage is coming out on Blu-ray. Small Soldiers is coming out on 4K. I don't know who's putting that one out. I bet, is it Shout? Oh no, it's Paramount. So I know a lot of people like that movie. That's the one with the little military action figures that come to life from the late 90s. I kind of remember liking that movie. The remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night is coming out on Blu-ray and 4K. I'm not going to buy that. If this was 2 years ago, I would have bought that day one, but I don't know. The Godfather is coming out on 4K, Steelbook from 1972. We have, what's that? That looks like the original Silent Night. No, I guess not. There is a steelbook of the new Silent Night, Deadly Night coming out as well on 4K. I heard kind of mixed things about that, so I don't know if I'll. What's going on with my hair? I don't know if I'll end up getting that. Let's see. Deathstalker is coming out on Blu-ray from 2025. Wasn't that an old movie or is this a remake? I don't know. And Sisu Road to Revenge from 2025 is also coming out on Blu-ray. And then on Friday, February the 20th, a movie called Soul to Soul is coming out on Blu-ray. And this is a footage of a concert held in Ghana to celebrate the 14th anniversary of the independence of that country, featuring the likes of Wilson Pickett, Santana, Roberta Flack, the Staple Singers, and Ike and Tina Turner. So that's just a random Friday release. Every once in a while they have those ones coming out, but that's everything that's coming out this coming Tuesday. So let me know if any of those movies appeal to you. That's it for me for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed a bit of a different video. I've been slowing down on the physical media pickups and actually kind of thinking for the first time, this past week was the first time I really kind of was true to myself as far as like, I'm not going to buy a bunch of stuff anymore. I'm just going to save my money or trade in stuff and get some really good boutique releases, stuff that I really want or stuff that I've never seen that I want to check out. And Either it'll stay in my collection or I'll move it on like street trash. But instead of buying like dribs and drabs and it's kind of wasting money on stuff that isn't all that great, save my money, get some good releases, and enjoy things like Dead Man from Criterion. So yeah, that's it. So let me know if any of those movies are movies you enjoy, or your thoughts on my hot take about Dawn of the Dead. Again, it's just an opinion. Listen, I have Dawn of the Dead. I have the box set. I've got the regular DVD. I've got the VHS. I've got all the things. But I do really like that 2004 one, and I know that's some hot tamales right there. But guys, it is beautiful. The sun is coming around. Spring is on its way. 5 more weeks, I think. So we'll see what transpires. I think Puxatawny Phil did say it would be a early spring, if I'm not mistaken, if you believe in such things as a groundhog predicting the weather. But yeah, that's it. So again, thank you for watching. Leave some comments below. Let me know what you thought of those movies or some of my thoughts. Let me know what you've been watching this past week or listening to. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back next week, very likely with another Hangout video. And yeah, that's it. That's all. That's all they wrote, baby. So take good care of yourselves. I'm not going to preach to you this week. I'll give you a break. Though, that said, but I'll be back next week with a whole new video, and we'll see what I get up to this week as far as watching stuff on physical media or streaming. And yeah, I'm working on a song, so I'm hoping to have a video of that coming soon. And I'm also working on a sister channel, which will just be for my music output. So hoping to get some cool stuff going there soon. So until next time, guys, you know the drill. I'll see you at the video store or the thrift store or just out and about somewhere. But until next time, take very good care of yourselves, your friends, and your family, and your community. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.